Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willow Journals. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a writer, artist, journaler, journal maker, and teacher of journaling courses. And in this video, I'm doing more of the podcast style of episode, continuing the series, sharing what I'm learning through my Bachelor of Arts Therapy. So I have completed day one, my first day of classes for week one of trimester one. And so on Tuesdays, I have a class from 8 till 11, which is called Qualities of Art, Making and Media. And then we have a lunch break. And then from 12 till 3, I've got another class called Foundations of Art Psychotherapy. And then on Thursday, so later on today, I'm filming this on a Thursday, I've got my third and final class, which is Foundations of Scholarly Practice. So before I go into that class, I wanted to share about what I've learned in my other two classes first. And in this video, I'll share about qualities of art, making, and media. And in a separate video, I'll chat about the Art Psychotherapy Foundation class. And then, yeah, I've got this collage in front of me for you to look at while I chat. But this I'll also talk about in more detail what this is all about, because our art subjects are very practical. We do a lot of artwork in them, which is really, really exciting. So I'll have lots of artwork to show you throughout the rest of this year. So yeah, first of all, qualities of art, making and media. We're looking at how art materials and the process of making art can help us know ourselves and help in healing and that kind of thing. And so our very first exercise or art activity that we were given was to introduce ourselves through an image. So we could use any materials, paint, pastels, pencils, textures, collage. I, as you can see, did a collage using different images from magazines, Daffy's diary, in her studio, and I also used some words as well. And let me just share about what this is talking about. Oh, we also had to include in our introduction through an image what's important to us and why we're studying art therapy. So there's a lot covered in here, and I'll talk about what this all represents, and then I'll talk about the process and the materials and how that spoke to me and helped me to know myself. So first of all, I started with this image here to kind of share about me. I'm an introvert. I appreciate a lot of alone time and quiet time to reflect and to read and to journal. That's kind of what that book represents. And this kind of goes with my favorite quote: the unexamined life is not worth living. So I like to do a lot of reflection, contemplation, introspection, and examining of life. And then over here, I just got sort of the similar image. This is the second picture I pulled out, how they kind of go together, how I like having a space of solitude. My cat is just knocking down containers in the background. A place of learning and reading and leisure and studying and all that kind of thing happening here. So that's kind of saying something about me. All right, let's just take this away from my cat. That's what he's playing with. And then I wanted some art pictures to represent, my love of creativity and the fact that I'm studying art therapy. I've got these chandeliers here to represent the sparkle and being the light, and how I want to hopefully be something that shines and brings something good into the world. And then I've got images of beauty, so this garden of flowers and this garland of flowers, how I want to see beauty everywhere, and I do see beauty everywhere, and I also want to make beauty, I want to share beauty, I want to capture beauty, and this idea as well that I see beauty in people, and I want to draw that beauty out and get to know people, and because I think people are beautiful, and the process of getting to know people is something beautiful in itself. And how, art and making art, the process and also the result, both are beautiful as well. And so that's that kind of concept of where I find beauty, and beauty being one of my core values and something that's important to me. Like having alone time and having time to reflect, beauty and trying to be a light and something good in the world, and creativity. These are all things that are important to me. and it all ties into why I guess I'm studying art therapy, is because I want to help people see their own beauty, I guess, if you want to put it in that type of language. And just, yeah, I find it such a beautiful process of getting to know people. And this is my title for this collage, Art Listens. This idea that when we put down an artwork, when we make art, it's like listening to what's inside of us. It's listening to who this person is. It's listening to who they are. And listening to our thoughts and our feelings and putting that down into art. And then also the art talks back to us. This is an idea that I learned in this class, that our materials, they talk back to us. So it's a constant relationship, a process of artists making with materials, and then there's an image, and all of these are relating to each other and interacting, and it's this wonderful process, responding to each other. So you respond to the materials and you make something, and then you respond to what you've made, and it informs you, it tells you something. So you listen to the art as the art listens to you. And then we can do that with others. So as others create something, we can listen to what they've put down through the art that they've created, and then that art can speak back to them. And I love that process. And I guess, yeah, it ties into another one of my values. Everyone has a story. I want to listen to that story. I want to know that story, because your story is beautiful. And moments that matter. This encompasses the whole of getting to know people. Whenever I feel like I'm getting to know someone, it's like a moment that matters. When I'm creating, that's a moment that matters. When I'm reflecting, that's a moment that matters. When I'm witnessing a moment of beauty, that is, or when I'm witnessing beauty, that is a moment that matters. And the idea that all of this, witnessing that and experiencing this beauty and drawing it out, this is how I find I can dance through life, and it's just inspiring and gives me energy, and life isn't just a ho-hum, drum, whatever, like just going through the motions, but it's like exciting and dynamic, and just getting to know people and the beauty, and then peace. Also having this time, alone time, gives me peace, and creating gives me peace as well, and listening to the art and listening to myself, listening to each other, such a wonderful thing. And so, yeah, what this artwork then gave me, here I was the artist, and I was using these materials and looking at how they interacted with each other, the beauty and the art and the light and the sparkles. Oh, and the chair represents just being right here, being in this place where all of these things are happening, of studying art therapy, of finding beauty, of having alone time and reflecting. Just be in this chair, be right here where you are right now. And the door, opening this door to a world of art therapy, and we bloom by doing this, having alone time and creating and getting to know people and journeying together. And then this one, I think it's magical and beautiful, all of that. And the return to, that's all about, for me, if I'm ever like, why am I studying art therapy? To return to this. This is why. And a return to, if I'm feeling anxious, return to the peace that I get from reading books or journaling or creating or finding beauty or connecting with people. That's what I can return to, this. And yeah, seeing it on the page, that's what I mean by it's this active relationship. It's a dialogue, it's a conversation as I respond to this, and it's responded to me. Like, this has come out of me. This is a response to what's going on inside of me, but then this is speaking back to me and giving me words, and it's giving me a language to describe what I'm going through, and what's important to me, and why I'm doing art therapy. So before, if I hadn't done this image, I wouldn't have had that language of art listens, and these connections. I didn't realize these connections of the story and the art and the beauty. So yeah, this, I could really see that in action, about that, everything responding to each other and the relationship between it all. And yeah, so what part of what we have to do for our course is do journaling, reflective journaling after each reading, after each class, after each exercise activity. And so that's what I kind of wrote in my journal, or what I will write, because I've already written what this was all about, but I haven't gone and written about how it changed me or what I learned from this process. So that's what we're doing too. We're not just creating something and there we go. We're responding to it, we're learning from it, we're letting it speak to us. And so in terms of what we're learning in our course, in our classes. So yeah, they were teaching us about how it speaks to you and to listen to it, and it's a response in a relationship. And so by doing the activity, that's how I've learned oh yeah, I could see how this related to that and that related to that, and how then this spoke to me and I had a response to it. And that's it in action. That's what I was talking about in a previous video in this series about transformative learning, I guess. How we don't just learn by being told something, but you actually do it and go through it yourself. So instead of just being told there's a relationship between artists and materials and the image, and you respond to it, and each responds to the other. I could just be told that, that's great, but it's actually when you do it and live it and breathe it and see it for yourself that you're like, oh, so that's what that means when things relate to each other, and that's what it means by it responds to me and I'm responding to it. Okay, I get that. Cool, because I wouldn't have had these kind of connections maybe if I used paint, for example. It's because only I had these pictures that I saw a relationship between them because of the materials themselves. They present a different relationship than if I was working with paint. So it's this dynamic relationship between artist, materials, and image that's constantly speaking to each other and responding, and amazing. So even just that, just sharing that, I hope that was kind of useful to you and demonstrates what I'm learning. And then let me just share about another thing. What is art? So this was the first half of our class, and then the second half, I guess, we were talking about what is art. So, and this gave me some insights too, talking about like nature can be art, beauty is art, and art may even equal beauty, and maybe not aesthetic beauty, but just the beauty of being. And this idea, I love this, that beautiful images, places and spaces can be healing, which can translate to mean beauty is healing. And wow, that just articulates, again, something that I've felt a sense of, but now I'm like, wow, yes, that's so true, because beauty was the thing that helped me get through last year in particular. Beauty was the thing that I kept saying was worth living for. No matter what the pain or the trials, the heartaches or the challenges, beauty is something you can hold on to that can help you keep going in life. So right there, beauty was healing. And no wonder beauty is one of my core values. It's so vital for healing. And this idea that me, when I went to the beach, that was a place that brought me calm and clarity of mind, the organization of mind. When I'm all cluttered and stressed, I'd go to the beach, and then I'd leave the beach only when my mind was calm and had some sense of order to it. And that's what therapy is, if you remember from that previous video. Therapy is, or one way to think of therapy is having your mind become more organized, moving from a disorganized mind to an organized mind. So going from a stressful mind to a place of order and clarity and direction. And so that's, the beach was a form of healing in itself because of the beauty of the water, and it allowed me to contemplate. It gave me something to look at, to contemplate, and then I could heal through that, or have an organization of mind experience. So this idea that art is something that allows us to have prolonged contemplation, and that when we stare at the art, that it's sort of like a vortex that transports us, sucks us in and draws us in as we contemplate it. And through that contemplation, it's this like interaction between you as the artist or viewer of the artwork. You're having this conversation and response, and that can be healing. So I'm not sure, I'm still trying to get my head around this idea, so I'm not sure if that's translating well, but if that's resonating, that's awesome. But I love this idea, this revelation that nature and beauty is a form of art and something that can heal us. And I've seen that, I've just given 2 examples of that in my own life. The beauty that is healing, and then the beach, being out in nature, is healing. So I love how it's just giving vocabulary to things that you've already had a felt sense of. And then once you have a vocabulary, it can really help you to see things in different ways, in new ways, that can then help you in turn. And amazing. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying this series. Let me know if you're actually enjoying this series, and journeying with me as I learn about art therapy. And I'll see you in the next video where I talk about the other class and we look at art psychotherapy. And very excited to share some more activities that we did. Alright guys, thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! A big special thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in January. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. I can't do this without you, so thank you so much. If you would like to become a patron in February, the link will be below in the description box to my Patreon, and that's where you get access to extra videos and behind the scenes looks, personal updates, printables. The Ruby tier and higher, you get every single digital kit from my Etsy as well. And may you all journal your lives, because your story matters.